For 5. Botham had threatened heads would roll, but whose? It certainly won't be this man's. David Gower, in the most trying circumstances, hardly put a foot wrong. It was England's only consolation today. Tony Francis.
248 runs behind the West Indies' first innings total. A report on the day, again affected by rain, from David Cass.
Colin Croft continued his destruction of yesterday by trapping David Gower for 48. Croft again, bowling to Graham Dilley. Croft had taken 5 wickets for only 30 runs, but it was left to Andy Roberts to complete England's embarrassment. With Chris Ould's dismissal, England had crashed to 178 all out, and the follow-on was inevitable. Then came the tourists' best chance of saving this first test, but the rain eased and simply gave the fast bowlers an extra long lunch break. They came out after lunch with a vengeance, determined to intimidate the openers. That one brought leg byes off Boycott's ribs. Then it was Gooch's turn to suffer at the hands of Andy Roberts once again. Michael Holding had them worried and soon prompted edgy shots from Boycott. That one brought 4 runs for Boycott, but the wickets quickly began to fall. Holding now to Gooch. Gooch LBW for 5. Holding's 100th test victim was Brian Rose. England in trouble. David Cass, BBC, Trinidad.
78 all out. It closed tonight after a day interrupted by rain. England was struggling at 65 for 2 against West Indies' first innings of 426 for 9. As Tony Francis, our sports correspondent, reports.
As the dry season turned wet again, English supporters watched their team throw in the towel. Gower had added only 1 to his overnight score. That really was the last hope, and Ian Botham had to digest the unpalatable prospect of an English follow-on. There were easy pickings among the tail-enders for Colin Croft. So the man who didn't impress in county cricket had ripped England apart with 5 for 40. Torrential rain delayed the follow-on, but not long enough for the tourists, who needed 248 just to make the West Indies bat again. Michael Holding, coming in like a train, was ready for the kill, one way or another. But Boycott took it and stood firm. It would be a searching test of guts, character and self-preservation. Poor Graham Gooch was still shell-shocked from the first innings. He was first to go with 19 on the board. Holding needed 1 more for 100 test victims, and he must have fancied his chances against the out-of-touch Brian Rose. It was as sad as it was predictable. Runs became strangely irrelevant under this bombardment, and Gower was next in the firing line. He almost impaled himself on his wicket. In this climate, even Boycott couldn't survive on skill alone. Mattis, not for the first time, had let it slip. In fact, but for some poor fielding, the West Indies would have had victory in their pockets tonight. A let-off this time for Gower. So England must survive 1 more day to save this test match. As long as Boycott is there and the clouds are low, they have a chance. But the signs for the rest of the series are very ominous. If the West Indies fast bowlers can sweep them aside so easily on this slow wicket, what on earth are they going to do in Barbados and Jamaica? This is Tony Francis.